There are some stories that just grab you and don't let go. Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, it's definitely one of them. We're talking about a story that's just an absolute storm of raw passion, brutal revenge, and a love so intense it literally haunts the living. So let's dive into this masterpiece. Okay, so picture this. You're traveling across these wild, wind-swept moors in Yorkshire, and you come across this house, Wuthering Heights. Right away, you just know something's off. It's not just that it's isolated, no. It's this heavy, dark, totally unwelcoming vibe. The air feels thick, the people are cold, and you get this immediate sense that this place is just soaked in bad memories. And that feeling, right there, it's the big question that kicks everything off. What on earth happened in this house? What kind of secrets are these walls holding to make a place feel so full of anger and sadness? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're about to dig into. All right, Section 1, A Haunting Welcome. Our story starts with a visitor who had no idea what he was walking into. He just wanted a place to stay for the night, but what he got was a ghost. And that's our doorway into this whole twisted tale. So the year is 1801. This guy, Mr. Lockwood, is the new tenant nearby. He ends up having to spend the night at Wuthering Heights, and let me tell you, it's not a pleasant stay. He has this absolutely terrifying vision, or maybe it's a dream, who knows. A ghostly hand grabs him through the window, and this voice is just pleading, crying to be let in. Turns out it's the ghost of a woman named Cathy. And that one creepy, unforgettable moment, it unlocks everything. Okay, next up, Love on the Moors. To figure out who this ghost is and why she's so desperate, we've got to rewind. We're going back to the beginning, to a love story that was as wild and untamed as the moors themselves. So here's the backstory. It all kicks off when the owner of the house, Mr. Earnshaw, finds this orphan boy on the streets and just brings him home. He names him Heathcliff. Now, his daughter Catherine and Heathcliff, they become inseparable, like two halves of the same soul, running wild on the moors. But then the old man dies, and Catherine's older brother Hindley, who always hated Heathcliff, takes charge. Out of pure spite, he completely strips Heathcliff of his status and forces him to live as a lowly servant. So you've got Heathcliff living this crazy double life. On one hand, you have Hindley, who sees him as less than human, just someone to abuse. But on the other hand, you have Cathy, who sees him as her entire world, her absolute soulmate. Imagine that whiplash, being treated like dirt by one person and worshipped by another. This massive conflict of love and hate is what's going to shape everything he becomes. And that brings us to our next part, a choice and its cost. This right here, this is the turning point. It's one decision made by Catherine that sets off a chain reaction of absolute devastation. So as Catherine gets older, she's stuck. I mean, really stuck. She has this wild, deep, once-in-a-lifetime love for Heathcliff, but then there's this other guy, Edgar Linton. He's rich, he's respectable, and he can give her the social status she's starting to want. So what do? It's her heart versus her ambition, and she's trapped right in the middle. And this is the choice right here, love versus status. Heathcliff is passion. He's her very soul. Edgar Linton, he's safety, money, and a place in society. And when she decides to marry Edgar, she's not just breaking Heathcliff's heart, she's basically betraying a part of herself. Well, Heathcliff overhears her saying it would be degrading to marry him. And that's it. He's gone, vanishes into the night. For 3 long years, nothing. Then, one day, he just reappears. But he's not the same person. He's rich now, he's well-dressed, and he has this cold, hard look in his eyes. He's come back with a plan. Moving on to the price of revenge. Because that plan I just mentioned? Yeah, it's not a good one. His return is the start of a cold, cruel, and incredibly destructive quest for payback. This new Heathcliff is a man on a mission, and that mission is revenge. Pure and simple. He's got a list, and he's checking it twice. Hindley for all the abuse, and the Lintons for, in his mind, stealing Cathy. That powerful love he once felt, it has completely twisted itself into a dark and dangerous obsession with making them all suffer. And you can literally watch the tragedy unfold step by step. First, Cathy makes that fateful choice. Then Heathcliff comes back for revenge. And finally, this toxic cycle of suffering just spirals out of control, sucking in both families and even their kids.
It's like a whirlpool of misery, and he's right at the center of it.
And Cathy, she doesn't get a happy ending either. Being pulled between these two men literally destroys her. She gets sick and dies. But death isn't the end. Remember that ghost at the window? That's her. Her spirit torments Heathcliff for the rest of his life. He actually begs her to haunt him because even a painful memory of her is better than nothing. Their love was so powerful it couldn't survive in this world, but it was too strong to ever really die.
So after all that darkness and revenge, you have to ask, is there any way out? Can this awful cycle finally be broken? Well, let's talk about breaking the cycle. Turns out there might just be some hope. The answer comes from the kids. The next generation, Cathy's daughter and Hindley's son, start out trapped in Heathcliff's messed up world too. But here's the difference. They choose another way. Instead of revenge, they choose forgiveness. Instead of hate, they find love. Their relationship isn't a destructive hurricane like their parents'. It's about healing. It's a sign that maybe, just maybe, things can get better.
So when you boil it all down, what are we left with? Wuthering Heights is packed with some huge themes. You've got love and passion, but it's shown as this wild, dangerous force. You have revenge, which we see as just a dead end that hurts everyone. Social class is a massive deal, creating these barriers that mess everything up. And finally, you have nature itself. The wild moors are basically a character reflecting all the wild emotions of the people living there. And maybe that's the whole point. Think about it. This book was written in a time that was all about being proper and following the rules. And Emily Brontë just threw all of that out the window. She wrote about the messy, chaotic, wild parts of being human, the stuff that society tries to tame but can't. It's a look at the dark, passionate energy that we all have inside us somewhere. Which brings us to the biggest question of all, the one people have been debating for over 150 years. Heathcliff. What do you think he is? A romantic hero who was just broken by the world? A tragic victim of abuse and classism? Or is he just a straight-up villain, a monster of his own making? The book never tells you what to think, and that's what makes it so brilliant. The answer is up to you.